Hey everybody, this is Steve from GamersNexus.net, and today we are covering Deadly30, a side-scrolling zombie killing game based in World War II for Saturday Heat Signature Episode 8. That means 8 solid weeks of indie game coverage and game coverage of those games that are lesser known but really deserve attention. So this time we're talking about Deadly30. You need to survive 30 deadly nights, as the name would seem to imply, of zombie attacks in a World War II based setting. So we start out as an American soldier that's got an SMG and is stuck somewhere over behind enemy lines. Our first objective is to fortify a house so we can survive the night. So we first go over to this abandoned house, build a small fence because white picket fences do amazingly against zombie attacks. That is why the suburbs are obviously the best place to be in the event of a zombie apocalypse, and we fortify those. We actually can get companions later as well, but I will talk about that in a second. We can go buy some ammo, you can make new guns once you have enough parts to do it, and all kinds of cool stuff like that. And it is, just to get into mechanics for a second, a side-scrolling shooter, as I said. So it is point to aim. You just point where you want to shoot, and you click, and they die. Pretty simple. There is no real skill involved in that. There is some skill involved in staying alive, though, and making compromises and sacrifices. You can duck to aim, have better aim, to have more accuracy. You can jump, which I used quite frequently when I was running low on health and I was bunny hopping, just like in a quote-unquote real FPS. So we do have multiple types of zombies, and the game does sort of borrow heavily from games like Killing Floor, Left 4 Dead, all of these old, I mean, even a little bit of, what was that game, Call of Duty 5, I called it, World at War, Nazi Zombies. Actually, it borrows from everywhere, which, whether direct or not, it is actually not that bad, because when you take from so many different places, or when you get influenced by so many different places subconsciously, it turns out to be a better game because you have multiple influences in there to make sure that there are all kinds of unique ideas. So I actually like that in my games. But it is World War II based, so we have a couple different weapons, I think 12, and they're all based on World War II weaponry except for one, which is a laser gun. Each character in your squad, up to 3 members, a Russian, an American, and a German, all appropriately stereotyped in their voiceovers, are assigned a specific weapon set. So our Army man from the US gets the SMGs, our Russian gets the sniper or Winchester line, and our German gets the shoddy line. You can actually switch between characters, which makes it pretty fun because there's different playstyle for each one, and if one of your characters dies, there is no requirement, finally, to keep one particular member alive. As your squad begins to fill up, it becomes much easier, but of course the zombies become more difficult, so there are bloats and stuff like that. The fatties, I think they're called in this game. So new types of zombies that evolve with each progressive night on the way up to 30 nights that make it increasingly difficult to survive. But on that note, you can upgrade your fortifications in the house, and this is actually a huge part of the fun factor, is you need to go exploring and scavenging every day. So there's a day-night cycle. When it turns to night, obviously you're fighting zombies. Turns to day, there are still some zombies hanging around, but they're not spawning as frequently as they are at night. So we have to go scavenging in the day for new materials to build guns with, so we can upgrade our walls, so we can build auto sentries like those in TF2, all this good stuff. Very standard in terms of ideas for multiple games, but a lot of these haven't been combined into a single, simplistic, side-scrolling, two-dimensional game that can be played on any system, basically. I'm sure there are some requirements, but I have not run into those. When you scavenge for resources, you come across big vehicles like tanks or abandoned German cars, and you can salvage those. You can break them down, basically, and grab those parts, and then you can use those parts to build new guns, or to buy health kits or stuff like that at the shop, which is conveniently located in your 2-room apartment that you're defending. But when you're scavenging in the day, there are multiple, we'll call them zones, where you can go either left or right of your base. To the left are fields and then a mountain, and to the right is a snowy area and then a castle. So you can go either of those directions and try your luck and hopefully find either new companions if one of them died, or if you don't have one yet. If you go to the left, it is a bit of different scenery. There's a cotton farm or something like that first, and then a large mountainous area. To the right, there's a snowy area and then a castle, as I said. And beyond that, they're really not too different, but it's kind of cool to see the idea of, okay, you have these 4 or 5 different zones you can run through, and you have to pick carefully which one you're hoping to roll the dice on for picking up some kind of randomly generated character or item or whatever, because you really don't have that much time. It is basically, I've found that you have enough time really to run through the first zone immediately adjacent to your base, and then run through about half of the next zone, and then night starts to fall. And if you really want to push all the way to the end of that last zone and hit the end of the map, as it were, you start running into problems of, holy crap, it's about to turn into night, and I'm completely out here alone, maybe with a few squad mates. You really have no cover at all, so at that point it is almost impossible to run back to your base without getting murdered by zombies on the way. But that's part of the fun of the game. If you really need those resources, you will find a way to get out there and get them. So you get out there, you grab your resources, you head back to the base, and then you fortify with walls, with better walls, with auto turrets, with laser guns, with armor, all of this awesome stuff. And it is a highly compatible game, so that means it's great for road trips and things like that. It's a $5 game. I picked it up on impulse after seeing someone mention it on Reddit, so thanks to that person, because I actually enjoyed it a lot. Is it worth $5? Well, that depends on if you like this kind of game. It did have a few bugs. It definitely has a repetition value. I would say you'd probably get a couple hours out of this game if you really ration those hours, and it is a good travel game. And it is a little buggy, so you might have to endure a couple of weird black screen glitches when you change the resolution, but I didn't see any bugs really when I was in game, so nothing to complain about here. This is not a review though, this is just a video to tell you about the game. So that's the game. It is called Deadly30 by Headup Games, I believe, and that is our Saturday Heat Signature episode 8. Please comment, subscribe, and like if you like this video. I will be at PAX East 2012 next week with 3 staff members, so come say hi if you see anyone in a GN shirt. And that means I probably won't have a Saturday Heat Signature next week, but I will try desperately to get one up, and at the very least we will have several PAX videos. So I will see you guys next time. Peace.